2024 F-150 Crew Cab 4x4 XLT, $52,574. 24 Ford Ranger Crew Cab STX, $33,942. 24 F-250 4x4, $48,888. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, local you trust.
Thanks for checking in with your afternoon weather update. It's March 12th, 2025. Now, I'm not going to really waste your time on the beautiful weather that we're expecting today, but we are going to highlight the little weak wave that's going to move through tomorrow, and then a stronger storm system that's set to arrive as we get into next week. At the lunch hour, a live look in Gatlinburg, downtown Gatlinburg. By the way, you can scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Check out some live views. You can also take a look at some time lapses as well. And download the East Tennessee Weather app because we are talking about the potential for some severe weather. Either way, heavy rain and very strong windy conditions are going to be set to arrive as we get into next week. So we're going to, through the weekend, I should say. So we're going to be highlighting that in a lot more detail coming up here in just a second. First things first, let's talk about the weather headlines. All day sunshine, elevated fire danger. Once again, low relative humidity and some gustier winds are possible here today. A weak wave moves through tomorrow with some light rain showers around the area. We are talking about a bigger storm this weekend that is going to affect pretty much everybody across the entire country, from strong wind to heavy rain, isolated severe weather here locally, but even blizzard conditions across the West Coast and the high plains. All right, wind gust trend for the rest of the day today. This is really the story, right? So some southwesterly winds going to be gusting to about, I would say 10, 15, 20 miles per hour, but you combine that with the low relative humidity that we have in place, and that's going to lead to elevated fire danger. So the National Weather Service has issued a special weather statement until 9 o'clock here tonight. Southwest winds anywhere from 5 to 15, gusting to about 20, 25, and low relative humidity. So don't throw the cigarette butts out the window, and definitely watch it closely here on a day like today because everything is super tender and dry. Forecast high temperatures top out in the mid to upper 70s. That's trending about 15 or so degrees above average for this time of the year. Looking at our 7-day forecast, we're going to stay in the low to mid 70s. A little bit of a cool down tomorrow as a weak wave moves on through, and then we'll climb right back into the mid to upper 70s on Friday. Friday, the wind is going to be increasing. A mountain wave wind event is possible across, well, the mountains, of course, Friday night into Saturday morning. Here's our little weak wave that's going to be swinging its way through and bring us more bark than bite, really, if you will, on Thursday. I'm talking more cloud coverage than precipitation. Not much precipitation with this system whatsoever, and we'll bring those temperatures down just a little bit, but still going to be trending about 10 degrees above average on Thursday. Now, as we look ahead on the 7-day forecast, again, we're talking about strong to severe thunderstorms. This is what we want to highlight. It's the weekend. It's super impactful when we're talking we want to be outside, when we're not going to be paying attention to the weather. So I really want to walk you through all those weather details on that weekend forecast. One thing to pass along is the humidity is going to be increasing. Dew points have been in the 30s. We're going to see those dew points climb into the 50s, and we need higher dew points for unstable air, instability. 57 degrees into the 60s. That's going to produce it on Saturday, so we need to watch for that for sure. But you're going to notice the humidity increasing on Friday. It's going to feel a lot warmer. A, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s, so that's warm in and of itself. But B, you add the humidity in, it's going to definitely have that warmer late spring, early summer feel to the air. This is the storm system I'm talking about. Thursday morning, it's in Southern California. Negatively tilted trough strengthens as it moves its way over the Rockies into the Great Plains. At the surface, it is going to produce a very strong low-pressure system. I'm talking millibars here. You're probably like, why are you talking millibars? Well, because I want to put things into perspective for you. The forecast really hasn't changed much. We're talking 976 to about 980 millibars for a central low pressure on this storm. To put that into perspective, that would be equivalent to a Category 1 to Category 2 hurricane. That's how expansive and strong this storm system is. And because it's so strong, it's going to be impacting the entire country, from heavy snow and blizzard conditions across the West Coast to blizzard conditions across the high plains and upper Midwest. Heavy rain and severe storms here in the Southeast, and not a single soul across the country is going to be out of the woods when we're talking about the wind. Here locally, depending on where this axis of rain sets up shop, we're talking 2 to plus inches of rainfall and severe weather. So now we're within 3 days of the storm. So Friday into Saturday, we do have a risk for some strong to severe thunderstorms. Tornadoes are likely across parts of Memphis, Paducah, St. Louis, maybe even Nashville, Birmingham, Tupelo, and that's Friday into Saturday. Saturday into Sunday, we're not quite in that realm or that range anyways from the Storm Prediction Center. We'll get there tomorrow to see what they do for us, how many different levels and categories of severe weather we have. But generally speaking, look for severe weather to be breaking out throughout the day on Saturday. So it all is kind of dependent on this warm front. Does the warm front come all the way through? If it does, which a lot of times it doesn't, that's going to bring us very unstable, warm, humid air. That's what we need to produce severe weather. Don't want it, but that's what you need. It's part of the ingredients. So I think Saturday morning we may have a couple of light showers, but through the day on Saturday, we're going to watch some of these discrete cells out ahead of the main cold front. If we get those to form, those will likely produce severe storms Saturday afternoon. Then as we get into Saturday evening and during the overnight hours, here comes the line of thunderstorms that's going to tap into some strong upper level winds, and we could see damaging wind gusts. Tornadoes can't be ruled out. All modes of severe weather at this point of the game are on the table Friday, Saturday, into early Sunday. So make sure that you stay on top of it. The other aspect, as I mentioned, is the wind. The wind is going to be increasing throughout the day on Friday. It's going to be rather breezy and gusty Friday afternoon, Friday evening, even on into our Saturday morning. But watch as the cold front approaches how strong these winds come in out of the south, and that's when we really could have some issues with any of these storms. And we have a lot of shear in the atmosphere. That's winds changing speed and direction with height, and that's how we get supercell thunderstorms to start spinning that do spawn off tornadoes. So we need to watch that one closely for sure. And then as we get into our Sunday, we're going to be on the backside of that, so cooler weather is expected, and still breezy and gusty conditions on into our Sunday. So here's your weekend forecast, highlighting that specifically. We'll go 74 Saturday, 65 degrees on Sunday. Have a way to receive weather information. Stay on top of this weather forecast as we head through the rest of the week. And as mentioned, and as you can see on the screen, the East Tennessee Weather app is going to be your best app to have in your hands. Right there is the QR code. Scan that right now and make sure that you download the app. It gives you watches and warnings from the National Weather Service, live cameras. You'll get push notifications when lightning's within 15 miles, when storms are approaching, and or when I do live severe weather coverage. And you can watch that live coverage right there, front and center, at the top of the East Tennessee Weather app.